Harihi Om. Sai Ram, Vanakkam, Namaskar, Vandanam, Assalamu Alaikum, and Sat Sri Akal. Today we go into a very revealing expression or phrase called solitude. Solitude basically means being alone, or a situation where you are left on your own, right? Now, the first thing I want to say here is you should not compare this with loneliness, although loneliness may actually mean being alone, right? Solitude is completely different, and there's a big difference between solitude and loneliness. See, loneliness is a negative state marked by a sense of isolation, if you like, whereas solitude is the state of being alone without being lonely. It is a positive and constructive state of engagement with oneself. So that's the difference between loneliness and solitude, okay? However, we are looking at solitude from a spiritual perspective, and from a spiritual perspective, solitude improves psychological well-being. You know, like why do they ask you to sit silently for a while, or you go to the temple, don't talk, just sit silently, meditate? That is solitude. In that solitariness, you can have a communion with God. You know, studies have shown, right? This is American Institute of Metaphysical Sciences, parapsychology. All these have shown that, when people set aside time to be left alone, they tend to be happier after that period of being in solitary or in being in solitude. They report a lower level of stress and a higher level of satisfaction of life. They're also less likely to have depression, right? I mean, just look at what all our rishis, our saints, our sadhus have gone through just by being in a state of solitude. Through solitude, what they have got. Through meditation, what they have got. Meditation is what? Meditation is our communication with God, right? In short, solitude is basically, the absence of all kinds of distraction. See, why is solitude important? Because so we talk about detachment, right? Unless you are detached from something, you will always remain attached and you will be circulating in that cycle, right? See, Buddha, for example, right? If you know the story of Buddha, right? Buddha was born, into royalties, and he was a prince. But only when he left everything and went into solitude, he gained everything through enlightenment. So solitude is actually putting ourselves in a position where we can realize that divine energy, that divine spirit of God, who then we realize is actually there. At that point, that solitude allows us to grow closer to that divine energy, to that divine spirit, through our life, through our thoughts, through our existence. And we are able to see clearly, right? In that moment of solitude, when you close your eyes and you meditate on God, and if you meditate deep enough, you can see, the different caches of your life, right? When we spend time in solitude, we get away from all the things that distract us from reality. Oh, what a wonderful time I had, just being by myself, just doing nothing. And in that nothing, I got, every form of joy, if you like. We see our lives, inside our lives, we see our thoughts, we see our behaviors. Sometimes, we go through a journey in this solitude. It brings us peace. Peace that we cannot get when we are surrounded by people, because people come with different energies. Those energies can disrupt our own energy. So solitude allows us to decompress and take the stress out. And sometimes, solitude can grow loud. The clanging of thoughts bumping around in our minds. But at least that's just the clanging of the thoughts and not mixed with the, what can I say, the cacophony of noises that the world brings in. So good to be in solitude, because in that solitude, only in the sound of silence can you hear the voice of God. How beautiful is that? You know, there is a saying, it says, there is a society in the deepest solitude. Famous saying, is unknown, came across and I thought, wow, how profound. In solitude, the mind gains strength and learns to lean upon itself. And the great Muji says, loneliness is the poverty of self. Solitude is the richness of the self. Right? And whosoever, the Buddha, whosoever delights in solitude is either a wild beast or a god. How the mind in solitude can go one way or the other. And Buddha also said, solitude is where I place my chaos to rest and awaken my inner peace. How beautiful is that? Till I see you next time. Stay blessed.